because when you look, because I you could feel the way these guys were speaking, there's a lot of bitterness and hatred from inside. This is just a cover of the book. You can only imagine how deep it is, because Kenyans react to emotions. Politics in Kenya is very emotional. It's not ideological. People don't sit and discuss issues. They follow emotions and all that. As we look at the way, because I could actually imagine anybody who was here in 2007, 2008, we imagine that actually would have changed our politics. But it looks like we are even getting worse. As we look at the culture of politics, because there are people who come out and say, okay, we agreed with Dennis. It's like now agreeing with a crocodile. That univukishe mto, nikifika pale nitakulisha hata mimi, I'll give you something. Then in the middle, or when the crocodile has taken to the other side, you start showing the crocodile the middle finger. The emotions that the crocodile goes back with to the river, how would you describe it? And as we look at the crocodile, at the culture of Kenyan politics, it speaks of almost a bomb that's waiting to explode. And the question is, if we don't talk about these things, because you are saying if Dennis today stands and talks about these issues, they come for Dennis. If I speak and talk about it today, they'll come for me. At what point do we have these conversations? Because unless we have them, then it's a kind of a recipe for destruction of a nation. I don't know. Where do we begin in sanitizing? Because 2007, we are like, we have land, we don't want to fight again. But I can tell you for sure, you're looking at the clashes that are already happening in Narok and South Rift. It is pitting against two tribes. Wow. And there has been almost a government conversation that almost triggers these guys. You tell Dennis, Ojwang is eating your bread. What do you expect Dennis to behave in the next day? They'll come out with an arrow and shoot you. You're telling Lucia that Ojwang has come and taken your land. I mean, what I almost saying is, and it's quite sad, because even as we have this conversation, it's very important that we have them. It might sound like awkward conversations, but until we have this conversation, nothing will ever change.
Nothing will ever change.
I can assure you that. And I think we need to get to a point where we need to look at Kenya as a country. There's a time that I said, there's one time that I said, hata mimi kabla sijashikwa kuna siku DCI walinipambanya pale tao. The thing is, I have always felt that we need to separate individuals from the country. There are people who are so entitled. Kenyatta Senior was born as Johnston Kamau. How he became Kenyatta, I don't know. It's either we change the name of the country or we change the names of the family. Because you don't want the son of Dennis, 100 years down the line, they feel entitled that this country sounds like my grandmother's name.
We need to start changing actually the institutions that are named after Kenyatta, because if you look at it, it's just Johnston Kamau University. It's Johnston Kamau International Airport. It's very personalized. And there's this quote that people like sharing about Uhuru saying, if you want to help your children, start a business. And it feels like he feels like this is the business his father started for his family. And that would explain the contempt. But then, Gerald, I don't think we need to sanitize our politics. I think we need to change our mentality as Kenyans. We need to understand what it means to be a Kenyan. Unajua wa Kenya, by the way, we've been treated so bad by our politicians since the time of independence. We don't even know what it means to have good governance. We've never had good governance. We've never had accountability. We don't know what that means. And it's very important for us to start having conversations on what good governance and accountability means. Because we need to understand that, hatuwezi kuja tu about alternative leadership. What is alternative leadership? How does it look like? We are used to recycling the same politicians over and over again. How can we sanitize people that we've recycled since before we were born? It's not possible. Samaki mkunja ngali mbichi. These are all dried fish. They're all dogs. We can't teach them new tricks. They're not going to change. We cannot even pray for them to change. Wako past that level at this point. That's why I keep saying mahali pa kukua polite, please government do this. We are done with that, man. We need to start making demands. They are our rights.
Bishop.
Yeah.
Unajua.
I think it's important that we move slowly, because I don't think Oscar Sudi or Kipchumba Murkomen was speaking out of emotions. and we must be
Not Kipchumba,
very
Joanna Ngeno.
Ngeno. Well, Kipchumba also is the starter of the whole of these debates. You remember that Keriako Tobiko was applying himself to Kipchumba, so we cannot negate the fact that Murkomen is in this. First of all, we need to understand that we are in a country that has a system called representative democracy. That when leaders like Murkomen speak, when leaders like Sudi speak, when leaders like Ngeno speak, they are speaking on behalf of Wanjiku. They are not speaking on behalf of Ruto. It's very important that we take that philosophy away from one man and realize that these men are speaking for us. Why am I saying that? Because if we discourage those men, then we will fall back again as the nation of cowards that we have been. You understand? A lot of the men in this nation who are in leadership positions today, they will never, never, never speak so strongly against the autocracy because number one, they are cowards, number two, they are thieves. We must encourage honorable men and women to stand up and speak. And we must promise ourselves not to look at them as Ruto sympathizers, Kalenjin or Kikuyu. The point is, these men are speaking courageously. And we must discourage fear by all means, Gerald.